Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. So this has been a really busy week for us. There's been a lot going on our new farm. But right now the AC guys are in there putting in the system for the house finally. So we're going to stay out of their way. So we're actually doing some work here in the pole barn. And what we're working on today is actually we're going to box in the eaves to give it a more finished look, because we are going to eventually finish this out into a building where it'll be closed in pretty much like a house. And it's one of those things we're not an expert in, but I could not find any videos that really showed me how to do this. And so we came up with a method. We did one side yesterday. It turned out really good. So I was real pleased with it. So that's what we wanted to kind of share with y'all in this video. So if you're building a pole barn and you're trying to figure out how to give it that finished look, stay tuned. Yeah, and so this is the side that we did yesterday to kind of give you an idea of what the finished product will look like. Obviously it hasn't been painted, but as far as the structure of it, it's up in there. So this is what we're going for, and it took me and another worker about a day to do this 80-foot side. Part of it was getting the lumber and the materials, and an hour or so of like sitting here trying to scratch our heads and figure out how to do this. So this is what we're going for. So let's go over on the other side where we're working today, and we will give you the step-by-step on how we got here. Yeah, and so for the first part of the box Eve build, we're going to put up the fascia boards. And for our fascia boards, we're actually using some leftover smart siding that we did the house with. We had a lot of it left over, and you know it'll last for a long time. And it's 8 inches, which ended up being like the perfect length, or the perfect width for what we need, because we had those 2x6s up there and they're at an angle, and so we need the fascia board, if we're trying to square it up, to come down. And then also with our pole barn, it has the metal trusses, and so there's like this L bracket that's welded on underneath, so we have to have the fascia board that comes down beyond the not just the 2x6, but also lower than that L bracket, and then a little bit of a reveal. So we're leaving about a 1/2 inch reveal beyond that. So this right here, this 8-inch board ended up working out perfect for what we're doing. So what we do, the first thing is we actually attach this to the 2x6 purlin. That's the last one on our pole barn. This is that bracket I was talking about. And so we'll put it in with some trim screws, and then you can see this gap right here. So we really need to have this fascia board out about like that to square it up, or to plumb it up. So we attach it with the trim screws, but we don't put them in all the way, because if we were to sink them in all the way, it would just take that fascia board and just draw it right into the 2x6, and we wouldn't be able to pry it out to get us where we need to be with that. And so getting this board up, that's the first step that we do. And these came in 16-foot lengths. So we're going to need about 5.5 of them to do the whole length of the pole barn. Yeah, and so now that we have the fascia board up, the next step that we're going to do is you can either take 2x2s, or we have 2x4s, so we're just going to take the 2x4s and rip them not quite down the middle. We're going to cut them to 1 5/8, because that's where we need to have our reveal set to the right depth. And so we're going to take those roughly 2x2s, and we're going to screw those into the bottom of the fascia board, but they're going to be up flush against the 2x6s, and that's how it worked out for us, to where there's a 1/2 inch plus the 1/4 inch plywood, so there's 3/4 of an inch that'll be hanging down past that, and which will give us the room for the plywood, and then the 1/2 inch reveal. And so for the next step, we're going to take these 2x2s and put them in there, attach them, and but first we've got to rip some 2x4s. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is, because we have to notch around those brackets a little bit where the metal sticks out, where it's about a 1/4 inch or so, I just run it through the table saw and take off about a 1/4 inch, and then nip it off, because I really need an 1.5 inch here, and that's probably about 2 inches, but I just kind of eyeball that part. And so we'll have to do that for every roof truss that we come across, that we have to notch it on both sides. So that takes just an extra minute or two. All right, while we had the table saw set at that 1 5/8, we just went ahead and ripped all the 2x4s that we'll need for this, at least for this one side. And I've got the first two pieces notched to go around that. So we're gonna screw these up, attach them to the fascia. And again, if you look up here where you can see the 2x6 purlin, so these are actually gonna mount flush up against that, and that kind of sets that's what worked out for us as far as our depth. I have noticed on some of these there's a little bit of a sway or a dip or swell in some of them, so it's hopefully when it's all finished out, you know, these little minor imperfections won't be that noticeable. But let's get these up and then we'll move on to the next step. So we've got all of the fascia boards up on this long side, and then we've got those 2x2s that we've ripped down to 1 5/8. They're up there as well. And then as far as on the 6x6 post, we have 2x6s that we actually had to rip down to 5 inches in order for it to work out to where our soffit would be level. So we've got those done, except for these 3 sections right here. This one we started another way and realized I just didn't like it, so we've got to cut some of the metal off of that to fix that. And then, but apparently some wasps have already made a home here. Oh! I don't have any wasp spray left, but I did have some carburetor cleaner, which it'll kill them. Not great, but I ran out of carburetor cleaner on the wasp, and there's still several of them buzzing around up there. The only thing I have left is Febreze. So anyway, my daughter is bringing us some wasp spray, so we'll get those killed, and then we can deal with that section. And so as you're looking down what we've done so far to get ready for the soffit, you know, you can see it's got kind of a little bit of a sway in it, bends and curves and bows. Some of that's the lumber, actually it's all the lumber. But what we're gonna do next is rip the 1/4 inch plywood to 19 inches, and we'll put it flush with this 2x6, and then we'll take those and we'll put it in there to where it's flush there, and then that'll really square things up. You know, and there'll be like very minor, you know, bows in it when we're done. Hopefully, at least that's the way the other side worked out. So anyway, so we're gonna rip these sheets of plywood and wait for the wasp spray, kill some more wasps. Anyway, then we'll start to box in where the ends are too. Hopefully we can get that done today. So anyway, that's where we're at. So we didn't quite finish getting all the eaves done. We got the two long sides done, and really the only thing left is the gable side on one end. But the heat index today is like 105 to 108. We've been out here since about 7 this morning. It's about 5, so we are done in. But it looks really nice, and I feel like this was probably the best way to box in the eaves on a pole barn with metal trusses. If we had wood trusses, it would have been a little bit easier, but we had metal trusses, and so that's what we decided to do on this method. And it seemed to work out really good. Everything, you know, went fairly smoothly. Other than the heat, it wouldn't have been too bad. So anyway, so I hope this video helped you if you're building your pole barn and you want to finish it out into a house or a barn dominium. Hopefully this will give you some ideas on that, at least how we boxed ours in on the eaves to help you make yours look nice too. And if you want to know what other projects we got going on around our farm, just be sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the notifications bell, and we'll hope to see you in the next video.